Today we're talking to Paul Szymanski, our IT manager here at Maintenance Care. He's going to tell you all the deep down dirty secrets. So what have we been working on lately? Like, what are some of the stuff that we've been working on? Like, what would we talk about?
We've got a lot of projects in the pipeline. We're always quite busy, but this year we've been extremely busy. We got some product updates we're working on, upgrades, and that's a whole process because we get the requirements to the developers. They work on it, they test it, they give it to us, and so we have to test it, and we try to put ourselves try to get focused on that because we have other work coming in, so that's always a challenge. But we got to do it because the customers are always after new features, and sometimes we get a bug fix or two in there as well, and the product has to grow, and we know that's important too. So
Yeah, that's my favorite part. Since the beginning, like since we started Maintenance Care, my favorite part's always been the new feature development. Like I've always, whenever our lead developer is Zbigniew, he releases something out to the live production server. I'm always like, it's like Christmas. He knows, like, I feel like it's the new thing. So I've always enjoyed that. I love designing the interface with our dev team to come up with the best way for our customers to see things. And then, but the part I never liked was the part that you're doing, which is the testing and the making sure, documenting, testing, making sure everything's, working correctly. And so, I mean, do you like doing that stuff?
we see the fruits of our efforts. You know, the, the 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 additions, the features, the changes, they're going in there for a reason, and we usually empathize with the reason because we get the customers coming in on support saying, "Hey, can we get this? We'd like to request this." Or sometimes it's just fine tuning something that's there that just needs a little polish on it. So we see the fruits of our efforts is that we get customers that don't have to call in for support or customers that could use these new features. So I think it is a lot of work. It's not necessarily fun, but we take pride in doing it well because it makes our lives easier and makes the customers, makes the software more useful to our customers, which is the end goal.
Yeah, and people don't realize how much detailed work it is to test, right? It's just like, oh, press this button. Is it working? No, that's not all that is. You have to do it like what are some of the things that you can think of that you have to do systematically, let's say, when you're doing testing on a new feature that that have caught you. Maybe we've missed something. What are some of those examples?
Yeah, so maintenance care is a whole lot of things. It's a lot of information, but it's a lot of workflows, and it's very flexible. You can access information from one part of maintenance care in different areas of maintenance care. So you might be getting asset information from a task, or you might be going into the asset module, or who knows. So there's different ways to get at the same information, and that can be where we sometimes get caught, and we try to look for that so we don't get caught. So yes, we fixed it if you get to that information from this vector, but if you come in from a different direction, oh shoot, we forgot it looks a little different there. So we want it to be harmonized so it's the same data regardless of how you look at it or how you approach it.
Yeah, exactly. And we have different let's say user security roles, or they're accessing it from, let's say, different browsers, or so there's always these weird things that can catch us that we forget. This particular situation is so unique, we didn't test for it.
That's true. That's true. And we have such we've got a diverse marketplace for our software. We have different types of customers, whether it be healthcare or manufacturing, institutions, municipal governments. So maintenance care, well, I don't have to tell you how flexible it is, and it's so flexible that these customers can use it in different ways, and it's not like one way is right or wrong, and that's the flexibility that's been built into the product. But we need to be the customer's advocate when we're testing, because we know customers use this feature in different ways. So it adds to the we really have to have our radar on when we're testing and be aware and look at the details.
So like the other thing too is like we don't make it easy on you because we have four products, right? So it's maintenance care is the most complex and the most evolved, but we've been updating steadily, pretty aggressively, new features across different platforms. So that doesn't make it easy on the team.
It does make for a lot of work for the team to juggle all these products. We've got some, some of our people in testing and tech support that I think of them as Swiss Army knives because they can pull out a new blade when they get a support call or when they're doing product testing. That there's a lot of different arms to that knife, and they really have to be flexible and have a lot of product knowledge and customer knowledge as well. Like I say, I can't emphasize enough how diverse our customers are, and their needs are different because they're in different industries. So.
Yeah, and that's how, in a sense, that's how CareClean was born. Our other software about that is specific to housekeeping because, we were getting customers that are using maintenance care as a maintenance software, and then they were asking, oh, well, we want to use it for housekeeping, and it made sense for a while, but then they wanted some specific features that were for CareClean, so we decided we have to create a separate tool that is unique to that, and so that I think people don't understand maybe how related to the customer support issues our product development is. Like we track those, and we what do we do for that, like that we track our issues, and we categorize them, and we later develop features based on their suggestions or their issues.
Absolutely. So, the frequent requests get to the top. If we have many customers asking for the same feature or same adjustment, we hear that, and we've got some big customers with many locations in different products, and we've got little customers using just one product for one location. But we hear them. We can't be everything to everybody, but we like to put in the features that are going to help a lot of customers and help in different industries. So there's some features that we put in that help all the customers who are using a product. Maybe CareClean. There's in maintenance care we might put in a feature that's more for one vertical industry because healthcare is asking for this or automotive is asking for this. CareClean is really maturing into a product that addresses some specific needs, especially scheduling and things like that. It just proves time and time again that if you buy software, made to address the solution you need, it's gonna do that. I've been on the other side of this. The first part of my career, I was the customer. I was sourcing software solutions. Early in my career, they were all premise-based. We would install them on our servers. And over the years, then it was VMs on our own servers, virtual machines, and then it was cloud-based. And obviously, as somebody who was sourcing these solutions for my company, my enterprise, the cloud-based solutions were, by far the better way to go. It's just solved so many problems for me as an administrator. Product integrity, backups, security, scalability. I didn't have to update my software on my servers. It was a win-win situation. And, what I really like about maintenance care and I think most of our products, if not all, is the month-to-month feature. I mean, I remember when I was sourcing software in my previous jobs, and they wanted us to buy it. You had to buy this software. It was going to cost you, $30,000, $50,000, $100,000, and it's like, boy, you really got to do your homework and make sure it's going to fit. Or they wanted you to contract for a year to start, and that's the same diligence because once you switch over, it's hard to switch away. So it's not just the financial commitment; it's you're telling your organization, hey, you're going to have to use this software for a year. Because if they buy it, they're not going to let us buy something else because we don't like it. So I remember just loving the licensing model where you can go month to month because it made my life easier. I would still do it by my due diligence, but you weren't sticking your neck out, and it also showed that the the software company had that kind of confidence in their product that they didn't have to try to hook you for a year to get you as a customer. So
Yeah, it's hard. It's funny you say that because I think when we hire salespeople, for example, a lot of them are programmed initially when they come in to do the hard sell, and salespeople are like good at convincing you need this and how great it is, but usually aren't around to suffer the consequences of your regret once you've bought something you don't like, and now you're trying to find them, and they're like, "Well, no, you bought it. Too bad. You're married to us." But with us, like we don't sell that way because you are month to month and you can cancel anytime. So it's a little different. Sometimes it's actually not for everyone. We've lost salespeople because they sometimes can't get their head around the idea that they're responsible for making sure it's going to be a good fit with the customer, not just a sale. And so I think that definitely holds us accountable to making a good product and then following that up with good support. And which you're involved as well. We have SLAs in IT. As our IT manager, you are responsible for delivering on some of those SLAs. And so how does that work in our company? Like, give some insight as to what we do to make sure that our customers are well looked after and in a timely manner.
actually, we've done a lot in the last period about that. We've always taken that very seriously, but we've instituted a lot of new tracking so we can see the metrics, and it's not just to report up to the executives and whatnot, because I know people like yourself, you want to know what's going on. So we share that information with everybody every week. Staff meetings, manager meetings, everybody sees our metrics and where the trends are. And I think that's very important because sometimes the trend is not maybe where we want it to be. So we need to push some resources there or get some focus or visibility to it. And sometimes, we're very proud of the job we're doing, and we can demonstrate, hey, we're doing a good job on live chats, or we're doing a good job on direct calls. And it's not just a feeling, it's hard data, and we see that, and we see what the history has been over time. So we want people to be proud when there's good results, and when we need to focus some efforts on remediation or improving, then we have the tools to do that. So.
Yeah, I think the biggest leap forward that we did in recent time for support has been the live chat. And you're not talking to a bot or an AI, you're talking to our team. And everybody in the morning logs into this chat and they need to be ready. I've done this, like I've gone on, like let's say a sales demo with a big customer. I'm live there and I'm saying, and they say, "What is that button?" I'm like, "That's the live chat. You can talk to our team." And they're like, "Press it. Let's see how fast they respond." And I'm always like, "Okay, come on, let's hope." I press, but every time I get a response within our SLA, which is it's 1 minute, right? Is our response time maximum 1 minute that you're going to get somebody that actually is going to talk to you.
Correct. That's what we grade ourselves on, and we take it very seriously. So our internal SLA right now is for a live chat to be engaged within 1 minute, 60 seconds, 90% of the time or better. So, and we are tracking to that, and we're quite proud of that. So, I think, what I tell my people and what we discuss is we've all been on the other side of that chat, whether we're trying to get hold of our bank or our phone company, maybe we're having a problem with their cell phone. We've all been on the other side of that. And the people who reach out to us by live chat, they want a relatively quick solution. They want to talk to somebody relatively soon, but they're multitasking. That's why they didn't pick up the phone. They're working on something else. So our job is to help them do their job, and making sure that we get back to them within a minute and have somebody get engaged working on their problem. That's important, and a lot of customers are just thrilled by that. We get really good feedback from our customers on our responsiveness to our live chats. Now, that's not to say we can always solve their problem immediately, but we can tell them, we can get their information immediately, and if necessary, get back to them, very quickly with an answer. And
yeah, that's the world's of difference. I remember in the early days of kind of this concept of good customer support, it wasn't always around. Like honestly, most companies did not have this push for good service. And we were always surprised at let's say, how easy the return policy was for Costco warehouse. Costco, it was one of the first that said, okay, we're going to allow a lot of returns, and it just brings the confidence to be able to buy from them. And then there was Apple. Apple, for me, kind of it solidified in my mind that this was a necessity for our company, in that, it would tell you how long you're going to wait on the phone. You're the next caller. It's going to be only a minute more. They would tell you that now a lot of companies have this, but at the time they were one of the first, and I just always found that level of service was needed. And people forget too that even today a lot of software tools do not have live support as part of their agreement. You have to email the ticket in, and you're always dealing with somebody different, so you have to re-explain the problem, and depending on the severity, they might not get back to you. Try to submit a ticket to Google, and you'll never hear back from them. And I'm not talking bad about Google specifically. Yes, I am. They're terrible at the support, but that's just from my personal experience. But I'll tell you that there's been a change for us, at least, when we deal with our customers in an effective way, that they respond with wanting to stay our customers for a long time. And that's the benefit that we get from helping our customers that way. All right, so let's talk about also some security stuff. Part of your role is to make sure that our teams, our internal systems are secure, our customers' data is secure. And we currently host our platform on AWS, Amazon Cloud, and what kind of things do we do that help secure their data, and that customers would be interested in knowing, that help them feel better about using maintenance care and kind of their information?
So one of the things I often point out to customers is that maintenance care started out, actually all of our products started out from the ground up, from day one, as cloud-based products. So I'm kind of proud of that, and the IT technical part of me appreciates that, because there's a lot of software out there that was written to be on-premise, dedicated servers, et cetera, et cetera. And when you design a product that way, that's a whole mindset and a framework for how security and access and things are provisioned and controlled and monitored. So ours is not one of those products that was started out as, install on your server, and then we sort of ported it over to the cloud and fixed it up and, changed things. It was designed from the ground up. So that is a huge advantage. When you know your product is going to be a cloud product, you design it with the mechanisms, the controls, the access, everything is inherent and integrated. So,
obviously we have limited access to our database from a live database. We encrypt the information, but what kind of backups do we do? Like, what do we do on that side of things?
We have, we are using all of the awesome capabilities of AWS doing backups, and our Canadian customers can be happy to know that all of your data stays on Canadian soil and is backed up on Canadian soil. And our U.S. customers, likewise, all of their data is on the U.S. soil, and backups are on the U.S. soil. So that should be reassuring. We have backups that are done throughout the day. We have a near real-time backup, a database that's in near real-time backup that's always available. We also have discrete backups that are, portable and can be used if there was some sort of a need for them.
Yeah, we have limited access too, and that's the thing is, people, because we're family owned in a sense, right? We're not outside investors who come in and have a board of directors that dictate who should have what and so on. We've really limited to the ownership group as far as like the keys to the kingdom of the data, and then everybody else has limited access based on their role specifically, and that's monitored.
That's correct. So access is taken very seriously, because it's no good to have a very secure product if you allow our staff to get in there and just do whatever. So we as you know, we use role-based access.
Now the team, we've got some developers, we have support people that you manage every day, and what are the types of things, like if people want to apply to work at Maintenance Care, at GeneScore, what kind of people do we want in IT? Like what is your ideal candidates for either developers or support teams?
Yeah, I'll start off by saying, we use a whole gambit of resources here. We do have developers, full stack developers, report writers. We have technical support people. We have people who, do trainings that can sometimes be technical. We have people that massage data. A lot of times our customers have a lot of data that they want us to bulk upload for them, and we can work with that, and so we have people working on that data conversion. So the type of people we'd like to have, the type of people I like to have on my staff, if the person can put themselves in the shoes of the customer, the outcome is always going to be better. And I like to, sometimes I almost close my eyes and I think about a project, or I think about what it's like from the other side. I want my staff to think that way, because we are not here to make our product do what we think it should do. We are here to make our customers' lives easier by helping them get their work done. And whatever that means to the customer is what our goal is. So I think, does that mean getting on the customer with a call saying, hey, I don't understand. You're a long-term care facility and you're doing things differently than everybody else. Why is that? Let's understand it, because we don't want to say what you're trying to do isn't valid or isn't a good idea. Maybe we just need to understand it. So we've gained a lot of industry knowledge by working that way, and asking our customers, what do they want to do? Why do they want to do it? And sometimes we share industry solutions that a lot of customers like and are very common. But we're open to new ways of doing things. So if a customer says, yeah, everybody else does it that way, but we don't because of this, and here's what we're trying to do. Well, that's great. We're gonna help them do that, and we're gonna gain some more insights into that industry along the way.
Yeah, and absolutely. And I think one of the things that when we've talked about hiring new people too, it's like have a good knowledge of of the job that you need to do. Obviously, you have to have the technical capabilities, but be customer focused, right? Like you're saying, that is a big, even, developers are known as being, kind of sitting in the corner and just working on their computers. But we have developers that talk to customers because they need to understand what we're trying to achieve. And this customer requested this feature and we want them to get it right from the source. So there might be a need to connect directly with the customer. So you can't be just a full introvert and not want to speak to others. We work collaboratively with each other. So there's obviously a social component there that needs to also exist. And then I think, the one thing is be able to do other things as well. Like we don't only just do this job. We all do a whole bunch of things here at Maintenance Care, at Geniscore. So I think I think definitely if their openness to do other things is probably a big deal too.
Yeah, and that works both ways. When I'm recruiting or interviewing somebody, I will talk about that, and that's almost a promise to them. Hey, we're not going to just put you in one silo and keep you there, and make you do the same thing all the time. So that's as far as I'm concerned, a job perk is that we do all wear a lot of hats, and that's good for the company, and it's good for the person, the employee, and it also, sometimes we get really busy in one area. Maybe we're onboarding a whole bunch of new customers, and we need a couple people to throw in and do the job that normally only one person does. So having that kind of flexibility of wearing different hats, gives us additional resources when we need to focus them in one area.
It's a great place to work. So that's a great point. Well, thank you, Paul. I appreciate your time, and we're probably going to do this again. Maybe we'll do another touch point at some time in the future. And if you're a customer of Maintenance Care and you need to ask our team for any technical issues, it's Paul's staff that is helping. So if you have any issues, you can escalate those issues right to Paul. So
that's why we're here.
That's right.
Why we're here, Dan. And I look forward to doing another one of these. Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.